On a cold, windswept rock, a new life begins. A tiny, downy jewel emerging into a world of ice and ocean.
Wet and vulnerable, the chick's first moments were a testament to the fragile beauty of life. A tiny pulse against the vastness of the sea.
Wet and vulnerable, the chick's first moments were a testament to the fragile beauty of life. A tiny pulse against the vastness of the sea.
Nesting in a bed of seaweed and grass, the chick was safe from the cold. A tiny, warm heart in a world of ice.
The Arctic breeze ruffles its downy feathers, a gentle test of strength in a world where survival is a constant battle. The first meal, a transfer of life from parent to chick, a bond of love and survival in a world of ancient threats. The colony, a city of thousands, provided a community with strong bonds that nurtured each individual. The Great Auk was an integral part of a vast ecosystem, coexisting with an incredible array of ancient marine life. The first swim, a leap of faith into a cold, new world, a step towards a life of mastery over the waves. The first dive, a moment of profound transformation, a step towards a life of graceful movement beneath the waves. As night fell, the plains were a blanket of peace, with only the stars and the moon as witnesses to their world.
A guardian of the colony, the male Great Auk, a fierce protector, stood guard.
The chick, a young student of the world, learned from the sea and the sky, from the mother's guidance and the world's harsh realities. The Great Auk was a creature of beautiful transition, a wild horse with the front of a zebra and the back of a horse.
Though often mistaken for a penguin, the Great Auk was its own unique species, a one-of-a-kind marvel of evolution.
Their powerful beaks were a testament to their strength, a tool for cracking open shellfish and other hard-shelled prey.
The Great Auk was an integral part of a vast ecosystem, coexisting with an incredible array of ancient marine life. Evolving without the threat of human predators, its gaze held a simple, profound trust, a nature that would tragically become its greatest weakness. Every meal, every moment, was a testament to a peaceful, balanced existence on the ancient plains. Life revolved around vital watering holes, sacred gathering places in the vast, open plains. For thousands of years, their story was one of peace, of harmony, of a world still untouched by the shadow of man.
A portrait of family, a monument to survival, standing together against the endless horizon.
Chick is no longer a fragile jewel, a portrait of family, a monument to survival. Standing together,
the final parting, a necessary step, the journey of a master. No longer bound by land, the juvenile finds its true home.
However, instinct takes over. The chase, the hunt, the ancient art of survival honed over.
And sometimes there are companions, not of its own kind, but fellow masters of the ocean.
The ocean is a vast expanse, a world of endless travel.
Its wings were not meant for the sky. They were meant for this, a form of flight unique to the ocean.
The sea provides, but the land is home. A clumsy return.
When the weather turns, they stand their ground. Surviving storms is not a choice, but a test.
A simple act of generosity. A social bond strengthened through the sharing of resources.
A leap of faith, a moment of transition. From the clumsy world of land
the power of unity, a testament to their social structure. They are not a collection of individuals.
the bounty of the sea, a constant resource. The Great Auk, a living vessel of the ocean's the boundaries of a territory fiercely defended, a test of strength and will, not for dominance, but for the
a magnificent spectacle, a community of life thriving in a world of ice and rock. The morning begins with a sound, a single honk, a call for the colony to awaken. The first word in a language.
A silent agreement, an unspoken command, the coordinated dive, a testament to their deep sea.
Lessons in a language of gestures. The young are taught not with words, but with a pace.
In a sea of thousands, a unique voice, the mate recognition call, a specific.
A conversation of beaks and bodies. A complex ritual that speaks of trust, status, and
The work of a lifetime. A nest built with teamwork. A shared effort to create a safe place for the next.
When the nights turn coldest, they become one. A living blanket of feathers.
The tragedy of the colony, the loss of a future, the mourning of an unhatched life. A fragile harmony,
A beautiful structure. The Great Auk world.
The communal honk, a sound that says, "We are one," a show of shared identity.
The pecking order, a system of mutual understanding. Every bird knows its place, and this order keeps the
shared lookout, a testament to their collective responsibility. The safety of one.
A small gift, a great meaning. The gifting ritual, a way of showing affection.
Grief is not a solitary burden. In this community, there is a shared understanding.
The parent teaches its young the art of foraging, a practical lesson in survival, a direct
a collective consciousness. The colony acts as one, 1,000 eyes and ears.
Conflict resolved. The dispute is over, and the Auks return to their peaceful coexistence.
A moment of shared relaxation. The communal bath, a social activity that reinforces their...
The call of home, a pull stronger than any other.
The colony is not just a collection of individuals, but a single, powerful entity.
The final call of day. A collective sound that says...
And in the quiet of the night, the community sleeps. A powerful...
Its heavy body, a vessel for power, made for the deep.
A mark of distinction. The beak of the Great Auk, etched with bright lines, a unique...
The face of the Great Auk, a white patch over the eye, a clear and distinct...
A symbol of the northern sea. Its form, its grace, its power. To sailors, they were northern penguins, an iconic image of the icy coasts.
Calm and confident, the Great Auk, a creature at home.
A powerful dive, a descent into the deep. A journey to
The feeding flocks, a collective effort for survival. Their numbers, their unity, a powerful tool.
The view from the nest, a life lived on the edge with the...
The honking in the foggy dawn, a sound that cuts through the mist, a voice that speaks of their...
Peace in the icy kingdom, a life lived in harmony with the cold.
A powerful leap, a plunge into a true...
a fleeting glimpse from a passing ship. The sailors, awestruck by their speed and power. Every step, a show of strength. The confident walk of a Great Auk, a test. The beak of power, a tool for hunting, for defense, for life. A powerful and...
The colony in the mist, a world of shadows and sounds. The Great Auk,
a stoic father, a quiet, unmoving presence. A testament to his...
A fleeting moment of beauty. The contrast of black and white.
The eyes of the Great Auk. A calm, intelligent gaze.
A quiet moment of solitude. Even a giant needs
Linked, a symbol of strength. The Great Auk, a creature that is a match for the most powerful forces of nature.
Though they could not fly, they had their own form of flight. A majestic descent.
A majestic presence. An iconic identity. A giant of the north.
The first contact! Norse explorers,
For centuries, the indigenous people of the north lived in balance with these birds. They understood.
But with the arrival of other Europeans, a new era begins. The Auks, unafraid and
Survival at sea was difficult. Eggs and meat, a much needed provision.
As Europe grew, so did its demands. Feathers for pillows, meat for the growing fleets of ships.
The Great Auk's feathers, soft and downy, were a luxury. A new kind of predator, fueled
Accidents. Near human settlements, the colonies begin to shrink. Their strength was in the water, not on land. Their flightlessness, a key.
The first sketches, the first records. A strange, unique bird. The eggs, once a source of life, were now a commodity. Traded as exotic goods, a curiosity for... There were no laws, no protection. They were a resource, a supply. The world that had created...
The slow decline begins. The numbers drop, year after year. The first empty nest. A silent monument to a life unhatched.
Peace. The word spreads. The locations of the colonies, once a secret of the North, were now known to all.
the first stolen egg.
Not again! I'll look back at a home that is no longer safe. Great. The threat is no longer a fleeting moment, but a constant presence. The silence of the...
Even in their art, the memory begins to fade. The Great Auk, once a vibrant...
Insolent of innocent joy.
The numbers tell the story. The sound of new life. Once a... shadow of man.
The hunt begins, not for food, but for profit. A fleet of ships descends upon the colonies, an industry.
A club, a rock, a hand. The tools of extinction were simple. The slaughter was fast, efficient, and total. Hundreds of lives. The blood on the stones. A physical testament to the brutality. The life.
The survivors flee to the sea, their only sanctuary.
The eggs, a source of new life, are now stolen. A generation wiped out before it could even begin. The bodies, piled high, a gruesome cargo. 100,000 lives.
The end of a generation, the silent, empty nests.
The scavengers of the sky arrive. The gulls, once a peaceful part of the ecosystem.
The other masters of the sea, the seals, return. They find not a
A single survivor. A bird. The relentless pursuit. Escape becomes an impossible dream. The speed of the boat.
The silence, the most profound sound of all. A silence that speaks.
The last great slaughter. A desperate final act of brutality that... The grief of a species. A mate left behind. The last egg. A single final choke.
The empty sea. A world that was once alive with the sight.
The last flock. A small, silent group. A ghost of a population that...
The end of the line. A species that has survived for eons, brought to its knees by a new...
The final dive. The last Great Auk, a symbol of a lost world, disappears in...
The last feather. A beautiful, sad remnant of a lost species. A final...
A fading honk. The last sound of a species. A
Museums of the world, hungry for knowledge and specimens, now offered fortunes for the last remaining birds.
There it is. I see it.
The eggs, once a promise of new life, were now a fortune. A single egg could buy a house. A brief life in captivity, a moment of display, and then a final, cold act. A final sanctuary. A remote island off the coast of Iceland. The last breeding pair of...
But the secret could not be kept. The final location, now known. The hunters, driven by greed, arrive.
A moment of clumsiness.
A moment of profound, irreversible tragedy. The last egg, the
A cry of despair. The female watching her last hope.
Last confirmed Great Auk specimen taken at LD Island, June 1844.
And after that day, there was nothing. No other records, no other sightings.
Museums and collectors proud of their dead specimens. They had won the race, but at what cost?
Taxidermy. All that's left. A beautiful, sad...
The last feathers fade to dust. A final, physical trace of a...
The world realizes what it lost, but too late. The shock, the regret, the sudden...
The final race. Not a race to save them, but a race to possess them.
The last glimpse. A cold, still photograph of a life that was once so vibrant.
A collector's trophy. The prize of a lifetime. A symbol of status.
What happened to it? It's not here anymore, sweetie. They're all gone.
The last egg. A symbol of a lost world. A promise of a future that never was.
The final accusation. The silent, cold stare of a dead species. Last Auk.
They are not gone entirely. 78 specimens remain worldwide. A scattered memory of a single feather, a small piece of a great giant, a fragile, beautiful relic.
Do I hear 1 million? Sold for £1 million.
The painters captured their beauty. An artist's memory, a tribute to a majestic presence.
And so, the Great Auk, once so plentiful, vanished from our world forever. The predators of their world still remain. The Arctic fox, now
The other birds remain, but they are alone. The puff.
Even the seals, the masters of the sea, feel the change. They bask.
And now, a new threat looms. Climate change.
Extinction is not a word from a book. It is a feeling.
The photos, the last visual records, a beautiful, sad memory.
The nests, once a home for giants,
are now a home for others. The museum's silence, a quiet tribute to a lost world. The stuffed specimen,
a child's drawing, a beautiful, sad attempt to capture a life they
The legacy of loss. The Great Auk is not alone.
The empty horizon, a world that was once. The silent rocks, a cold, hard.
The digital ghost. We can now recreate their image, their movement, their beauty.
Last, the loud.
The monument to a lost world. A final, physical tribute to a species that is no more. The legacy of loss. The Great Auk is not alone. The dodo, the passenger pigeon,
a final glimpse of beauty.
A sound outlet.
The museum's silence, a quiet tribute to a lost world. The stuffed specimen.
The legacy of loss. The Great Auk is not alone. The dodo.
The empty horizon, a world that was once full of life.
The silent rocks.
A new dream emerges from the ashes of extinction, de-extinction. The idea of bringing a lost species.
The key is in the DNA, the code, the blueprint, the very essence of the Great Auk.
The debates are fierce. Is it right to bring them back? Is it a beautiful second chance or a dangerous, reckless?
The tools of the future. CRISPR, cloning, the science that could, one day, make.
Will it bloom?
The lessons of the past. The Quagga Project, a living example of the challenges and possibilities.
The stuffed specimen, the digital rendering. Beautiful imitations of a life that is no more.
The memorials, a physical expression of our regret. A quiet.
The stories are now told. The documentaries, the books, the art. A new way of.
The Great Auk's DNA, now fully mapped. A digital library of a life that is no more.
The artists, their hands now a bridge to a lost world. They animate a life they never saw. They
the dream of resurrection, a beautiful hope. The children, their imaginations now the last sanctuary of the Great Auk.
The last memory. The final, cold stare of a dead species.
The empty horizon. A world that was full of. The legacy of loss. The Great Auk is not alone.
A final question. Do we have the right to bring them back? Or is it a debt that can only be paid by...
The last feathers fade to dust. A final physical
The monument to a lost world. A final physical tribute to a species that is no more.
The empty horizon. A world that was one.
A final glimpse of beauty. A last reminder of the power, the grace.
A final question. Do we have the right to bring them back? Or is it a debt that can only be paid?
The sun sets on a world without the Great Auk. A chapter of natural history.
They are not just names from a history book. They were living, breathing beings. They were a part of our world.
They didn't vanish. They weren't a victim of a natural process. They were erased.
The story of the Great Auk is not just a story of the past. It is a warning. Today,
The world they knew is fading away.
The final egg. A symbol of a lost world.
We have a choice. We can either be the generation that stands by and watches, or we can be the generation that...
The children, their imaginations now the last sanctuary of the Great Auk.
Extinction has a sound. It is not the cry of a dying bird.
We only protect what we remember. The legacy of the Great Auk is not in a museum.
The Great Auk is gone. But there are others that are not. The puffins, the penguins, the whales.
The Great Auk. A symbol of a world that we lost. A trophy of a victory.
The Great Auk is gone. But its memory, its story. The story of the Great Auk is a warning. We have a chance to write a new ending for the species that remain.
The world is still beautiful. The puffins, the penguins, the whales.
The story of the Great Auk is a sad one, but it is not the end of the story. A new...
Extinction has a sound. It is not the cry of a dying bird or the roar.
The Great Auk is gone, but there are others that are not. The puffins, the penguins, the whales.
The Great Auk. A symbol of a world that we lost.
The Great Auk is gone. But its memory, its story,
The story of the Great Auk is a tragic one, but it is a story that must be told.
The Great Auk's story is a warning, but it is also a source of inspiration. Learn more about the conservation efforts that...
The memory of the Great Auk is in our hands. Share its story and its tragic lesson with your friends.
The last Auk. A symbol of a world that we lost. A trophy of a victory.
The Great Auk is gone, but its memory, its story, its tragic lesson.
The Great Auk is gone, but there are others that are not. The puffins, the penguins.
a symbol of a world.
The Great Auk.
Never forget.